At the source of all life, there is water. On Mars, where it is rare, water is a source of conflict, struggle, and death. Since the turmoil, there have been unending wars, fought over the possession of clean water. We are the forgotten children of Earth, trapped in this red, barren wasteland. Here, hell is not a concept, it's our reality. And the reality is that every drop counts. Then there were the unfortunates, caught in the full power of the sun's radiation, forced to deform, mutate into unrecognizable monsters. The others, the ones who remained similar to our ancestors in likeness, hid under massive metal shells, governed by water corporations. But in the slums, people's lives aren't worth much more than the mutants. And I would know. That's where I spent the first 10 years of my life, under the boot of the Vori. Of course, in despair, there is hope. Some have begun to explore, travel even, from corporation to corporation, leaving their loyalties behind. We have organization, structure, and inevitably, politics. We have rulers, a people's assembly, and far removed from us, the Dowser, the inaccessible face of abundance. And finally, there's us, the elite protectors of the people, the spearhead of the army, my brothers and sisters who all share the same special gift. We are Technomancers.
Ahoy, Zachariah.
Scott, you came.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. Sure, my memory isn't what it... But I remember to write things down on my calendar. Although I do sometimes forget where my calendar is. Anyhow, I knew your last cadet mission was today. Any nerves? If it's any consolation, you look more than fit enough.
No, I'm good. I'm ready.
Yes, healthy flush of the skin, no rapid eye movement. You don't look stressed out. Very well, I won't bother you anymore. Oh, but if I can bother you, just a moment. I recently acquired a batch of materials that can improve your gear. It's not much, but I thought you'd like it. Still can't believe you're going to be an officer soon.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Scott. Means a lot.
Ah. I fear we've dilly-dallied on pleasantries. Your master, Sean, waits for you in the courtyard. So stiff, that one. I fear his spine is concocted from steel. A spine prosthetic. How interesting. What if... Oh, and stop by the clinic and come shoot the chit-chat. No, that's not... Just don't be a stranger. If you feel ill or need a hand, come see me. I'm always glad to help. Good luck, my boy.
Thank you, Scott. Will do. I promise.
Oh, shit.
Zachariah, today, as you know, marks your final mission as a cadet. I trust you are prepared.
Of course, Master. Ready, willing, and able.
And a little nervous. Normal and expected. That's why I have gathered together your usual instructors to allow you to warm up and prepare. It's for you to ace the tests for each fighting technique. Prepare yourself. And once you are ready, join me at the station. From there, a train will take us to the mission site.
Thank you, Master.
Hey, heard from Captain Sean you're heading out to the station. You leaving now?
Yep, already ready.
Halt! Stop right there. We're conducting a search.
Look at this piece of shit. Well, what do we have here? Road trash seems lost, don't it? You've Forget we don't want your kind around here, Trav. Move your sorry ass out of here before you find yourself bleeding from both ends. I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to speak! Did I? You useless piece of shit! Why would I want to hear what you have to say? Waste of space! Please! Shut your mouth and just fucking die! Your corpse will feed the rats. At least then you'd have a purpose.
Such a waste of life. A waste of space. Am I right? A rogue is a Zach, right? You can dress him up, but...
Fuck off, Alan, before I...
Zachariah, we're leaving. Certain people are graduating to the rank of officer today, while others aren't even worth the expense of their time or energy. Let us be off to more remarkable things. Look, Zach, we are heading for the dome. It was built by the first settlers, a relic itself.
And what's there for us?
According to reports, looters, who, in our interest, it would be best to keep out of the dome. Zachariah, do you remember your first lesson?
On the scarcity of life?
Indeed, the very one. Kill a fellow unfortunate and, in this hell, only the more alone we will become. Disable the looters, but spare their lives. We encroach our destination. Take note that enemy forces lie in wait. There, the rocky outcrop. Scale it and report back your findings. Sometimes I wonder if initiating you is the right thing to do.
What do you mean? Am I not ready?
No, you're ready, Zachariah. With that, there is no doubt. I worry about you and care for your happiness. Once you become a Technomancer, there's no going back. You lose your freedom. From the moment our abilities are brought into the light, to the moment the light is snuffed from our eyes, the Technomancers are nothing but pawns on a chessboard. We have no free will. Abundance forces its will on us. I think about the future. How hard it will become as the ASC rises in power. Perhaps I'm just being paranoid. Forgive your master's little spell. You must focus on more important things. This door. It is the same as that in our chapel. Accessible only to the combined energies of 2 Technomancers. Here lies the entrance, and beyond, the main room, where we must go.
For being so old, it's in great condition. What exactly, Master, is inside the dome?
Knowledge, Zach. The very essence of knowledge. Creatures do not belong here. Their very presence is a danger to the relics. We must seek out their origin. I remember well the first time I came here. I was fascinated. I really thought I was part of an elite. I've become disillusioned since then. If all this knowledge indeed gives us some sort of power, we are still faced with so many obstacles that we can't do anything with it. It's more of a danger for us than a tool. This is the main room. The console over there. Activate it, and heed its words.
Will do.
Witness registration, March 17th, 2076. Subject 12. The subject appears acclimatized, pulse elevated but steady, unaffected by any visible health concerns. James, how do you feel?
Great! So alive! My heart's racing and I feel like I can take on the world. And I'm being honest here, it's a bit overwhelming.
Subject self-report is consistent and substantiated with our measurements of him and other subjects, all of whom produce EEGs indicating activity levels acutely higher than any ever associated with a human not subjected to the mutation. The only adverse side effect, it appears, is the near tenfold increase in corporeal and cerebral electricity. Dangerous levels that will necessitate the urgent invention of a device capable of evacuating such surplus in order to avoid subject injury.
This man talking about technomancy, about mutations, as if I can't believe.
And yet it still might be so. This recording dates to the first settlers. Speaks of the first Technomancers. Shocking, perhaps. Where did you think our abilities came from? A divine power?
I don't... but we have no physical signs of mutation, and I don't know any mutant that has our gifts.
And why should any of those things matter? Might not our mutation simply be of a different form? This brings us to the most important point. What you have seen unifies us, unifies the Technomancers. This secret must be kept from all other humans. If this information was discovered by, say, the ASC, we would become nothing but slaves. Our situation is already incredibly undesirable. We are not only isolated, but used as human bombs. Take a walk by the mutant pen in the slums one day. That is what our lives could have been. Don't be dismayed. I have been through this as well, so have all the other Technomancer officers in abundance. Knowledge of this revelation makes you one of us now, more so than your skills. But now is time to deal with the creatures infesting the dome. It would be a real shame if the installations here are damaged, for we will no longer be able to hold initiation trials here.
Yes. Yes, of course, Master. I haven't found an opening yet, so... they must have breached lower in the dome.
Then that's where we must go.
who bore witness to the secret with your own eyes, who knows in your heart of hearts that the revelation that he bears is true, and who has understood that this knowledge could cast us into endless pits of despair. As you drink the sap of the world, the water that feeds our lives, abandon the one you thought you were, and instead become our brother, Zachariah Mancer. Together we have shared the water and secret. Can you swear to forever protect the knowledge of the earth and to dedicate your life to finding it again? To defend and protect our secret, even with the sacrifice of your life, if need be?
I swear.
Then welcome, my brother.
I know you must be troubled by what you've learned, and I assure you that it's no less troubling to me. But be proud of what you are, and know, no matter what, we are by your side. And that this initiation, as horrid as it may be, makes you forever our brother.
You showed the courage of lions beneath the dome, and for it, you have been made an officer. So I imagine, now that you no longer need my guidance, it will send me elsewhere, with the great and endless pride of having been your teacher over these few years.
The honor was mine, Master.
No, not Master. It's just Sean now.
Go. Take your assignment as an officer. Count the blessings you've amounted, those that allowed you to avoid the front thus far. Captain Eliza is waiting in the barracks. She's harsh, but fair. But before you find her, we all know the regulations. Technomancers get no leave from the front in times of war. So being here, I can't even sneeze without a report being written up. But you have a free pass. I need you to go to the exchange district for me. There's an itinerant merchant there who was supposed to arrive yesterday. Just meet with him. The merchants have no ties to abundance and travel among us like shadows. They hear things, whispered things, and pay people to forget they are there. I'm looking for information on any archaeological discoveries that could expose the Earthlings. Information that would help protect our secret. Ask him if they've heard of any such finds.
Yes, Great Master, as you wish.
Good, Zachariah. But take care that not a single soul knows what you're after. Not a single soul can hear your exchange with the merchants.
Lieutenant Zachariah Mancer. What a pleasure.
Hello, sir. I don't think I've had the honor of meeting you before.
Ah, of course. I am Colonel Victor Watcher of the ASC.
Colonel.
At ease, Lieutenant, at ease. Simply came to congratulate you, and learned that you become a Technomancer of the highest degree. For a young man from the Rogue family, that's a terrific achievement.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Your road must have been difficult, but you persevered. An outsider who managed to work his way into the ranks of the elite Technomancers. A marvelous story, especially given their secrecy. They've always fascinated me. Do you have any insight as to why they chose to be so insular?
I'm sorry, Colonel, but I don't know what you mean.
What a shame. By coming to you out of friendship and camaraderie, I was hoping that you wouldn't treat me like an outsider, too. All right, then. Back to your duties. But think about what I asked, and we'll see each other again.
Who are you? You don't look like a guard to me.
'Cause I'm not. Name's Zachariah Mancer, Lieutenant in Ophir. If you're the merchant who got himself kidnapped from the exchange, I'm here to get you out.
I am indeed. Fiorello, master of the caravan. The shadow still protects me. But I doubt you came to help us out of the generosity of spirit. Am I correct in that presumption?
Ian Mancer, Great Master of the Technomancers, sent me to talk to you.
Ah, I see. Yes. One of my favorite clients. And a man with whom I, indeed, have some information to share. Aurora has discovered a new site, not far from the Shadow Path. A site filled with objects of incredible condition, and even a relic, as rumor has it.
News I'm sure the Great Master will be glad to hear. You should go now. Get back on the exchange as quick as you can.
I'm not one to dally, Mancer. I'll see you around, I'm sure. You, I admit, cared enough to come to look for me. That said, their merchandise is here, but I have no way of telling them I am back without the risk of exposing myself. I don't mean to treat you like my errand boy. I only ask because you offered your help. Anyway, if you could let them know, I could compensate you as well. One of them, I'm sure you know, the barracks quartermaster. The other one is a slums merchant.
You know where the merchant's at?
Of course, of course. If you have a map, I could show you. Bless you, Mancer, 1,000 times over. Bless you for all you've done for me.
Look at you. Glad to see you. Can't tell you how much your help was. It is appreciated. Well, things might have worked themselves out in time, but who has time these days? And you sure saved me the hassle. You're a Technomancer?
I am. Zachariah Mancer.
I'm lucky, in name and in life. You Mancers all stick together. Know each other real well, don't you?
Know each other, maybe, but we're scattered between here and the front.
Right. The front. Of course, the front. So, I take it you know where I can find I believe his name is Master Connor?
He's still in town, away from the front, training recruits.
Lucky again. Just what I wanted to hear. Think you might be up to do me a favor?
Either way, I'm here. Tell me what you need.
Simple. To meet Master Connor and relay some information. With your help, of course. Without your help, well, being just a simple merchant, unwelcome outside the exchange, I suppose it'd be a bit harder. If not, impossible. You know as well as I do, a common merchant can't just stroll up to the likes of a master. So, you get me in front of him, and I'll owe you one. How about that?
I'll see what I can do.
And I'll be much obliged.
Damn it. Master Connor isn't in the chapel. Maybe the Great Master will know where he is.
Zachariah, a pleasure as always. What may I do for you?
I'm looking for Master Connor. Any idea where I can find him?
He headed down to the underworks. Needed to get some supplies from our warehouses. If you're going there, take the elevator near the barracks. Opens up close to the warehouses and will save you some time. It's a real maze down there.
Thanks for the tip. Connor, hello.
My dear, dear Zachariah, a pleasure as always to see you, and my gratitude for your help. Now, please, stop calling me Master. You're one of us now. What brings you here?
I met a merchant fresh off the exchange who'd like to meet you.
Strange. Some delivery I'm not expecting, or something else?
He only said he had information to give. Didn't say what, but I thought maybe there was a chance he learned something about some relics during his travels.
Relics are more the Great Master's field of expertise than mine. I like to stick to molding our young recruits, but come, let us see what this is all about. Is it really you, Andrew? Can it really be?
I hate to disappoint, Master Connor, but I don't die easy. And I have a little too much pride to just let myself be tossed out with the trash. We got some explaining to do.
We did not toss you out with the trash. We just did not know how to help you. Your talents were uncontrollable. So we sent you away, hoping you would forget and Move on.
Hoping I'd forget? When? As 10 years of my life wasted away at the hands of a merchant? I want my goddamn life back, asshole.
I'm so sorry. I don't know how I could make it up to you.
I don't know. But you can be damn sure I'll think of something. Get out.
Andrew, I cannot tell you how remarkable to see you. Simply remarkable. Pardon me, Zachariah. You cannot know how unexpected this was. Thank you. I must now return to the source.
Zachariah, a pleasure as always. What may I do for you?
Does the name Andrew mean anything to you?
Huh. One might as well inquire if my own name bears meaning for me. How could it not? For with that name is resurrected horrible memories of a horrible scar that cuts across the school's otherwise illustrious history. Scars that share a similar depth and origin as that which cuts across your face. Have you forgotten? He enrolled at the same time as you, found his roots in outsiders just like you, but his family were traders. From the beginning of his apprenticeship, we found ourselves at a loss. How much of his excess fluid should be drained? Needless to say, we misjudged. His potential to be the greatest among us was forever lost and turned against us in a torrent of chaos as students like yourself fell under the debris.
Then what happened to him?
He lost an arm in the accident and did not survive.
Oh, hey there. You're the officer who's escorting us? Damn, we got lucky. Our own Technomancer. Name's Nisha.
Pleasure. Zachariah Mancer. I'll get you where you need to go.
Never met a Technomancer before. Must be amazing to have powers like that. I gotta say, I was getting pretty worried Aurora would try to attack us on the road. But with you tagging along?
We still need to be careful and stick together. Never know when danger's gonna crop up.
You already back, Lieutenant Zachariah? Despite the attack, the officials reached the source. Good work, Lieutenant.
All safe and sound at the camp as promised, Captain.
You're already making yourself one hell of an asset, Lieutenant. No doubt those officials owe you their lives. You sure as hell earned your pay. Go see the quartermaster to get it. Before you go, Lieutenant, I want you to know, your professor, Captain Sean Manser, leaving the city for the front. Might want to go say goodbye.
Thank you, Captain. Appreciate it. Hi, you Jenny Labor?
Yeah, that's me. What can I do for you?
Nothing for me. A mutant named Beg sent me to give you something. A souvenir, or... I don't know. It's just a stone that he drew on.
Thank you. Oh, my dear little...
Hey there!
Oh.
Zachariah, so your captain told you I was heading out, did she? I should be grateful. It is good to see you. Perhaps for the last time. I'm leaving for the front, as is expected.
I wish you could stay longer.
Wish that I could as well, if not only to appease my concern for you. But their will moves more than my desire. So they separate us, as they always have. To keep us divided. And I fear to further isolate you. Stay wary, mindful. You are in their sights, my dear Zachariah. You are the newest initiate, the youngest. And so, to them, the most attainable. The shortest route to knowing our secret. Such is our world. We are pawns in a chess game played by imbeciles, clinging to nothing but illusions of power. The real power that illusion brings. Take care, Zachariah. Take care.
I will. My word. Until we meet again, Master.
I'm afraid this is more of a farewell. And it's Sean. Forgive me not.
It is always sad to see a friend leave, especially when you know that he's going to risk his life every day. You must be feeling very lonely. It is up to you to earn a new friend to support you through hard times. A friend powerful enough. Have you thought about my request? What's little secret shared against a strong friendship, after all?
I would be honored to have you among my friends, Colonel. But alas, I don't know what secret you're alluding to. I'm sorry.
A pity indeed, because you will find out soon enough that while I can be a great friend, I can also be a fierce enemy. See you later, Lieutenant.
You, a Technomancer, right? Get the hell out of here. You surge around here, you're gonna fuck up my baby for good.
Just like you don't spontaneously combust, we don't spontaneously surge.
Is that you on the poster?
Yeah, name's Amelia Reacher. We're discoverers one and all, like father, like daughter. Why? What's it to you?
Well, me and my men need to get to a site on one of Aurora's shadow paths. Heard you'd make that happen.
Wish they gave me a heads up a Mancer was coming along. But orders are orders. I can take you whenever you're ready. Is your first rover trip?
Yeah, first time this far from Ophir.
Nice! How's it feel?
Exciting, I guess. A little terrifying to go this far without having the protection of a shadow path, but life's about the adventure, isn't it?
Took the words out of my mouth. That's why I love my job so much. Life's too damn short to play it safe.
You guys doing okay? Nervous about the fights we're gonna face?
The fights? What fights? I did not leave my home and laboratory to foray into battle, child. Did someone tell me this? Because I don't recall being...
We needed a doctor with us, Scott.
Yes, I understand that. I do, but fighting is... It's a dangerous... People get hurt, and I guess that's why... I mean, of course, I will care for you, but no fighting means no wounds to you.
Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, it scares me. How big's the fight we're looking at?
Aurora's troops and Technomancers. We'll have to be tactical about it. Hit them in small groups, since there's not a lot of us. But we stick to that plan, and we should be fine.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure once we get there and we get to doing and not just thinking, I'll be fine. It's the thinking that wreaks havoc on me.
This ain't my first rodeo, Lieutenant. Being on a rover's pretty neat and all, but still... no different from past missions. Hit an enemy, get hit back. Find ourselves down deep in Shit Creek and then wait for backup. In other words, it always goes tits up. But when you've been in the bad long enough, you get used to it.
Did you just call my baby pretty neat? That's it? Pretty neat?
I didn't mean... it's swell. Real swell.
Holy shit. I think you guys plucked this fucker from the farm before he was ripe.
Lieutenant, I was told Dave Ward has gone AWOL. Any idea where he is?
Sorry, Cap. I haven't got the slightest clue.
I see. This is bad. I have no choice but to declare him a deserter. I'm afraid there'll be gossip that you can't earn the respect of your men, and the Army's reputation will take another hit. I warned you to keep your head down, Lieutenant. Don't know what you did, but Colonel Victor was having you tailed during your missions, and now he's got a shitload to say about it, and none of it's good. I tried defending you, but the things he's saying... You defuse the rebellion. but in a way that makes you seem pretty pro-mutant. Now, I told you myself, I'd give you a chance to explain, but you better talk quick. In the ASC, there's zero tolerance for mutant sympathy. And if you don't have a different version to tell, Victor's hinting at collateral damage.
I don't know what's going on. Someone's trying to bring me down, and they're lying to Victor to do it. Only thing I used to calm the rebellion was a little reason and logic, which the rebels heard. Anything accusing me of anything else is a lie.
All right, fair enough. But you'll have to make your case to him as well. Victor also states you voluntarily jeopardized the lives of the officials you were charged with protecting. Want to explain that?
How do I explain something that's not? If I put those officials' lives in more danger, I'd have been risking my men's lives and mine as well. Why would I do that?
And the claims that you've been hiding vital intel for the sole benefit of your fellow Technomancers. Like an important research site on the shadow path of Aurora that didn't even register a line item in your reports?
Captain, the only thing I've ever done is accomplish the missions you gave me. Nothing more, nothing less. Never concealed anything, or had any other interest but abundances at the forefront. This is unfair.
I know what you've accomplished. Also know what he's saying. And even if he's not a fan of Technomancers, that alone wouldn't motivate him to make all this up to frame you. And the list of accusations and the details is long. Like your report on the deserters. Less truth than lies. Almost more lies than ink. Never would have expected it from you, Lieutenant.
Captain, before we go any further, I'm gonna admit I haven't been fully honest in my mission reports. Wrote things to put myself in the best light, rather than take full responsibility for my mistakes. It was stupid, and disrespectful to you. But I never meant it like that, I assure you.
Mistakes are one thing, Lieutenant. No soldier is perfect. Lies, though? Lies are another. You tried to protect your reputation with them, and instead, destroyed it. Maybe beyond repair. Quite a goddamn irony, isn't it? Well done. Unfortunately, he's already called you in, and I can't stop it. All I can tell you is watch your mouth. Behave like the soldier you've been since you joined my company, and you'll come out just fine. I'll plead in your favor if it comes down to that. Let's just hope it doesn't. Get going. Colonel's waiting. Good luck.
There he is.
Zachariah! I was scared we were too late.
For what? What's going on?
There's no time to talk about it. You're in danger. Victor called you in, didn't he?
Yeah, wants to talk to me about...
No, he doesn't. It's a trap. It's just an excuse to get you there so they can arrest you. They will do whatever necessary to make you talk. I don't know what you Technomancers are hiding, but he's ready to do anything to find out.
He's got power, but he wasn't...
Zach, listen to the girl. You stay away from that man. The crook, the pig.
Thanks, Scott. You need to listen to us, Zachariah. I know it's hard to hear, but if you stay here, you're gonna die.
Where would I even...
We take a rover and go. The town's filled with ASC looking for you now, but I know a road that'll help us avoid most of the troops.
Let's go, Zach. We need to go with the girl. No time to waste before that madman gets his hands on you. Now.
For the last time, we're not here to damage the equipment. We're here to stop a terrorist. So get out of the way, now!
Damn it, they're already here.
Who the fuck do you think you are? It's my warehouse, you prick. If there was a terrorist here, I'm pretty sure I'd have seen his ass lurking around. So you're gonna... Hey! Make yourself at home.
Lieutenant, sorry to ruin the surprise, but your little mission ends here. Stop the traitor!
No! Don't kill him!
You're driving. Get us out of Ophir now.
Fine. Everyone in the rover.
You okay, Zach?
In one day, I find out Victor used everything I did as an officer against me, and I end up chased by my own people. Then one of my own soldiers turns out to be ASC, and I get involved in the armed robbery of a rover owned by my childhood corporation. Yeah, I'm doing okay, Nisha.
Surely the young lady would not be taking us to an imaginary city. I mean, rovers are amazing machines, but certainly they cannot transport one beyond the bounds of reality and reason. I am not keen on leaving Abundance.
Noctis is an amazing city, Scott. It's as real as Ophir, but more amazing than anything you've ever seen before.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. Full of fairies and balderdash.
Listen, Amelia, I'm sorry things went down the way they did. We didn't have a choice, though. The ASC after us and not a lot of time. Thanks for taking us wherever it is we're going.
Thanks for the thanks, but it doesn't change the fact I still want to see your asshole head on a stake at some point. Shit, look what that stupid creature did to my baby. The engine's fucked. I'm gonna repair this. You didn't even leave me spare parts. You really...
An ostrich. No doubt about it, it's a wild ostrich. Look, you see the spikes on its back? Unfortunately, the poor animal died, but I'm almost sure that...
Well, according to the sky, we don't have much time before sunrise. Fortunately, we're not very far away. We better get a move on.
It's a pretty good idea, because, as I was about to tell you, these creatures are social. They rarely travel alone. We might find ourselves in the middle of a herd, and an angry ostrich can be very dangerous.
Very good. Want to guide us, Nisha? And Amelia, leave that rover alone. As you said, you won't be able to fix it. And if you stay, you'll die.
Isn't that what that bitch wanted? That I die? I hate you all.
Stop it. We never wanted you to die. We need you. I know that you love that machine, but there's no time to cry over it. Come on.
No, they're trying to open the roof.
You! Up there! Stop! Stop! It's Nisha! Listen to me! Stop! We'll take care of the creatures!
I'm sorry, Nisha! I'm stopping right now! But I'll only be able to open the doors for you once the area is completely secured!
Alright, here we are. They can get us access now.
If I weren't one to be wary of all corporate rejects, I might be elated. Do you feel it, Zachariah? We are about to enter a legendary city.
Outcasts. Get used to it, old pal. That's us too now.
Nisha, I'm so glad to see you. We were starting to get worried about you. The news from Ophir sounded a little chaotic. You look healthy.
Worried? About me? Give me some credit. Let me introduce you to Zachariah Mancer. He's the reason why I'm here.
Look at that. The Technomancer who saved us from the Vori. Interesting. Very interesting. Happy to see you again. Now I understand why the Prince was insistent. He'll want to see you as soon as possible.
The Prince?
Dandolo. He rules our city. If I were you, I wouldn't keep him waiting. He loses patience quickly. There's nothing like fresh news for him to be on pins and needles. But don't worry, he's a charming man, and he loves Nisha.
Very well. I'll go see him.
Happy to see you in one piece.
Beg? I feel like I got ripped off.
Apologies. We were forced to improvise. Playing a simpleton is a great way to avoid attention when you are a mutant. You can go see the Prince now, but come back later. There's something I would like to discuss. I will be near the sand sails.
Wait a... Your name's Andrew, isn't it? We went to the academy together. But didn't we...
I overheard you talking to Master Connor after I brought him to meet you.
I guess you overheard. Very well. Come find me once you've met with the prince. We'll talk about it. Go now. Don't keep him waiting.
Checking the leading against me. Ah, and here comes the rare pearl, the diamond in the rough that my Nisha tells me about. Come, young man.
Zachariah Mancer. was a lieutenant in Abundance.
Then welcome to Noctus Labyrinthus, Zachariah Mancer, former lieutenant of Abundance. I am Dandolo, head of this fair city.
Legendary city of the merchants. Apparently less legend than I thought, or been told.
But hopefully as glorious as legends proclaim. Regardless, for all who come seeking asylum, it opens its arms to you and your companions. You are free to call it home. Like all who have come before you, you will honor our only request, that you make yourselves useful to our city. I'm sure your skills will place you in high demand. Noctis' first Technomancer. Exciting. You'll have all the help you need with Nisha and Lucky, who I believe you've met. We'll give you a room to get some rest. I hear your trip was quite eventful. There is something else. I would like to personally discuss my expectations of you. You hear? War between Abundance and Aurora's winding down. Aurora took Green Hope.
You just left Ophir a few hours ago and didn't hear anything about that.
That really surprise you? Your little censorship office probably hasn't decided what to do with the information yet. No. Don't look at me like that. You don't belong to Abundance anymore. The truce doesn't behoove us. During peace, the corporations become more suspicious of us and our business suffers. Our city could even be discovered, which would be catastrophic. In legend, it must remain.
What do you...
No, let me speak. Your welcome here comes at a price. I want you to attack an Aurora convoy. It's right up your alley.
And why would I do that?
I didn't finish. You will do it in Abundance uniforms, dissolving the truce. Do what you want with the soldiers, but let the civilians live. They need to be witnesses that will report back to Aurora.
So you keep the war going?
Precisely. And while you're at it, bring back the uniforms of the Aurora Technomancers you dispatch. I'm sure I'll find a use for them down the road. Another thing, much more trivial this time, I assure you. The rover you came in on, I'd like you to move it. Put it wherever you want, do whatever you want with it. Just make sure it's not in the way in the canyon. I just don't want Ophir to stumble over the machine and, as a result, find the road that leads here.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Oh yes, one last thing. My spies gave me a little tidbit that might interest you. Right after your escape, the ASC arrested your Technomancer brothers. That's what you call them, right? From Ophir. Their fate's uncertain, but if I was you, I'd be worried for them. If you're worried enough to want to help them, maybe we can set up some sand sails to get you back.
And your help comes at what cost? Assuming it's not out of the kindness of your heart.
Don't be so bitter, Zachariah. Business is business, not personal. I just thought a few Technomancers on our side might be useful.
Hey, there you are. Your meeting go well.
As well as hoped. Thanks.
Then let's get down to business. You know who I am. You know my past. You know what little I have left. What are you gonna do about it now is the question. You gonna use what you can against me? Or let me carry on with the small life I've managed to build?
What happened that day?
I had a surge. A big one. One even the Masters never saw coming, literally. Before they even knew what was happening, I electrified everyone and everything around me. It screamed like thunder from my body, before the ceiling itself finally collapsed in on me. I woke up in the infirmary without an arm, surrounded by all those powerful Masters who stood there shaken, whispering, their eyes still filled with fear. Then everything went dark again, and I woke up in a sand sail.
Why aren't you with your family?
Right. My family. They were small-time merchants. I'm sure real proud their son was gifted with technomancy and was joining the school. But they were also scared as shit of me for the same reason. We're all scared of what we don't understand. It's why so many fear us both. Not that I'm sure any of the masters even asked them to take me back. It was more important to them that I disappear for good, to hide what happened, keep the illusion of their infallibility intact. Also, to hide the fact they had people among them who had the power to take down entire buildings. No, I had to go. In some ways, they even did me a favor.
And you never tried to reconnect with them? Even after you got free?
No, I looked for him. Even tracked down my father. He was just this old man. Didn't even recognize me. And if he did, he'd probably just hate me for what I've become. A crippled outcast. Not something you'd put your pride in. So I let it lie. Just walked away.
What about your gift? I thought people died if they didn't use their fluid.
It's a myth. There are rogue technomancers out there. Not a lot, but a few. They know how to control their fluid surges. Probably the only thing that piece of shit Marcello could take credit for. He introduced me to one of those guys, and after that, I learned to control it the hard way. The irony, no? I'll never be a technomancer now, but I control the fluid better than any of Abundance's masters. Not for power, just to make sure my own brain doesn't fry.
What have you been up to since you left?
What have I done? Well, after spending 10 years of my life as a slave trying to pay that piece of shit Marcello back for what he called my debts, traveled in his luggage hold, did his dirty jobs, whatever he needed to get his business going. Carried crates, drove sand sales, shoveled sand, ran errands, but mostly just picked his customers' pockets. I traveled a lot, though, if I'm going to find any silver lining in it, and have earned my damn place here in Noctis. Even if the price of that has been rarely sleeping in a real bed or reading a book that wasn't about accounting.
Should have remembered you. Back when we were kids, the world just revolved around you.
Really? How so?
You were quite the charmer. Everyone gravitated to you. Made me feel like I didn't even exist. I was just one of the many kids who dreamed of being your friend. Remember the feeling more than anything else.
Funny you remember that. Yeah, we were both kind of... Neither one of us really fit in. We were just outsiders in different ways. I tried to do too much, tried to make up for being different. You were just always yourself. You must have felt so alone, but you never made friends just to fill the loneliness. Never thought I'd see you again, Zachariah. Let alone ever have this conversation with you. I'm happy to have found you. Again. Even if it comes with all those bad memories.
I want to help you. What can I do?
Some things can't be healed, Rogue. Like that scar across your face. I'm guessing you got it the day I lost everything. And was reduced to a sad, broken, armless shadow of what I might have been.
Some things can't be healed, but most can be mended, friend. Let me ask around. It might be a long shot, but maybe you'll find a new reason to call yourself lucky again. We'll find someone who can lead you back to your gifts. I promise.
I may be bitter, but I'm no less grateful. Thank you, Zachariah. A little show of kindness goes a long way.
Zachariah, you look good. Better than I. As if that was hard to accomplish.
What do you think about Andrew? He comes from Ophir like you, and he could have become a Technomancer, but he had an accident.
I remember, yes. You know that I was the one who had spotted his abilities and had taken him to school, as I did for you? I thought that he was dead. That's what I was told, that he was dead. I shouldn't have listened to them. He looks perfectly alive now.
Yes, but he lost an arm during the accident, and he can't use Technomancy anymore.
How so? That's ridiculous. Technomancy has nothing to do with arms. It is all in the head. You just have to... let me think. Yes, I think that with... yes, that's it. With a full Technomancer kit, I would have the parts needed to create a bypass on a classic prosthesis. But I would need my notes to do that.
Your notes?
I studied Technomancy as well. Anyway, from a scientific standpoint, obviously, I have never thrown lightning bolts and I can't do it physically. Moreover, those kits wouldn't suit me, I'm sure.
Scott, you studied Technomancy?
Yes, and I had conducted in-depth research on the way in which your neural network expressed its static charge throughout your equipment. But all this is old. I can't remember it all, and I left my notes in Ophir. I won't have any trouble helping that boy if you bring me my notes and the equipment. You wanted something else?
No. Thank you, Scott. I'm gonna try to bring all that back. Hey.
Hey, back.
What should I know about the Caravanserai?
It's the heart of Noctis, the home of the Merchant Prince, and the place where all the merchants' important transactions happen. That's where they decide on the trajectory of the main cargo routes throughout the planet. Historically, it's also the first place out of the corporation's reach on Mars. I like the place a lot. It's very peaceful compared to other places, and the architecture is splendid. The Merchant Prince has a taste for luxury. I could have spent 10 years there. I bet I would smile a bit more than I do now.
What can you tell me about Noctis?
It's a free enclave in a world dominated by dictatorial corporations, created by merchants in order to facilitate the exchange of goods from everywhere. It's become a place that also welcomes refugees from all walks of life. I love this city. You can find anything you want. Mercenaries, preachers, craftsmen, all kinds of merchants, princes and thieves. And don't get me started on the extensive variety of artifacts from all around the planet. It's quite mind-numbing, but it's the place where everything is possible, far from the yoke imposed by corporations.
As a merchant, you must have traveled a lot. What amazing places have you visited?
Well, when I was a kid, I lived in Ophir, a place you probably know better than me. But with Marcello, the merchant to whom I belonged, we mostly traveled to Shadowlair. He knew a number of Technomancers, including renegades, and used to sell them equipment found by looters. It's an old Baroque city, with dirt-poor slums. As strange as it may sound, corporations' big cities all look the same in the end, beyond the few differences they flaunt.
What do you know about the mutants?
Which ones? The ones who were locked up, mistreated, considered to be mere beasts by the corporations? Or the ones who live freely on Mars's surface?
I was thinking about the free mutants.
They're almost all former slaves, you know. In the end, there are only a few of them who were born outside the corporations. They managed to quickly build a culture, to make the planet their own like no other human had done before. They don't see the Martian environment as hostile, but more as a land of countless opportunities. They're actually aware of the fact that they will never go back to Earth. It's become their home due to the circumstances. What else can I say? They're courageous, ready to fight for their brother's freedom. Some of them even want to get rid of the humans from what I've heard, which I can understand. I respect them a lot.
You know the merchants.
Even though knowing a few individuals doesn't mean that you know the group they belong to, getting rich is their main focus. And some of them behave like assholes to get what they want. But this doesn't apply to all of them. Most of them are intelligent, opportunistic, and pragmatic. But they're also more open-minded than the corporation's citizens. Your job, origin, even being a mutant doesn't matter, as long as you bring them business.
You have it in for them, the Technomancers, don't you?
It's true. I must say that they didn't put their best foot forward last time I saw them. All they managed to do was hide their inability at the price of my enslavement. I love technomancy, and this extraordinary feeling of freedom and power it gives you. But those who practice it for the corporations have a real issue. Whether it be for abundance or Aurora, they can't help hiding ridiculous things. Twisted rituals, and keeping the people they despise out of their little schemes.
Maybe there's a reason for it, don't you think?
You probably know better than me, but it doesn't make them look nice.
What can you tell me about the people of Noctis?
We're free to say anything and everything. You still think way too much like a member of Abundance, where the population pretty much has the same opinion. Here, people come from everywhere. Most of them used to be misfits, criminals, or simply eccentrics who didn't fit in back home. You find merchants, the offspring of the city's founders, hitmen from Aurora, dissenting workers from Abundance, or beggars from Alliance. And mutants, of course. This mix sometimes creates problems and tensions, but as long as everybody works together to protect Noctis, all is well. I can imagine that you're surprised to see so many mutants moving freely around here. I know that it's not the case in Ophir, but their life isn't easy here. Racism, segregation. I am so grateful I'm not a mutant. Gotta respect their courage, though. Living with this hatred, this daily dose of contempt, seems like a giant test of character. Don't expect them to be at your beck and call. They'll most likely ask for something in return for their services. They are a free people here. You care about saving those folks. What have they ever done for you?
It's not what they've done. It's who they are. They're my family, and I won't abandon them.
I don't get it, but sure.
You know him pretty well, Zachariah. Where do you think Scott might have kept his notes?
In a place that's both secretive and quite possibly insane.
You think he'd go that far?
Let's just say he's very skilled at being paranoid. The scientific mind that goes places nobody can predict can likely find a few good places to hide. And then there's the alcohol.
It's a pity bearing witness to someone so capable despite everything. He must have been a brilliant scientist.
Captain, good to see you.
Always, Lieutenant. Zach. Thought you'd look a little worse for wear, but you look good. They should probably be pissed that you stole one of our rovers. But I guess you didn't have much of a choice. What do you need? If you're here for help, start talking, because every second I'm around you is a bona fide hazard. And I don't want to have to steal a rover myself.
How are things? Heard there have been a few changes.
Thanks to your escape, yeah. Now most Technomancer officers are treated like traitors. And the Army's barely got a voice now that it's under control of the ASC. Can't tell friend from enemy anymore. Everyone's watching their own back, suspicious of everyone else. Paranoia's caught like a virus. I don't know what's going on, but I am worried what it means for our corporation. We're sinking into an era of terror, beginning to act like the very Aurora fascists who we hate, who had their own men assassinated.
I'm here to free you, you and all the others. We must go, though. Now.
Ah, Zachariah. My faith in you was not misplaced.
Come on, we're going to take you down!
They're coming, Zachariah. Go! There's a dome hidden in the desert. One spoken of in the tablet you brought me. Find it.
You won't get away!
They're here. Lead our kind through the crypt. Save them.
Come on, guys!
I won't leave you. There is no time to debate. Go! For God's sake. How?
Great Master.
No.
Go on. I will help him. And tell Andrew. I am sorry.
But...
Flee, Zachariah! Protect our kind!
Move, you idiot! Run! They're overloading them!
Great hero of his brothers has returned triumphant. Amazing, against all odds, against a city. Bravo!
But I don't see anyone resembling the Great Master. Is he...
dead? He sacrificed himself so we could get out.
Oh, so sad. Truly. Well, please tell your colleagues, your brothers, they are welcomed here. Let them rest and regain their strength. I can only imagine what the ASC put them through. And without their great master, they must feel lost. On top of it all, feel the void for a leader among them. No?
What do you...
Just simply that, as their hero, it might be in their best interest for you to fill that void. I don't purport to understand how these things work among your kind, through a vote or drinking game, but you've earned it. They need you to pull them back together after what they've been through. And to have a unified group of Technomancers among us to serve would be valuable beyond imagination. Think about it.
I'll think about it. But now's not the time. We need to mourn the fallen.
Zachariah, you look good. Better than I. As if that was hard to accomplish.
I brought you back what you asked for.
Oh, you found the ostrich egg cream.
No, but I found your notes on Technomancy, and I found a full kit. For Andrew, the prosthesis.
Ah, yes! The prosthesis. Give it to me. No. It shouldn't take me long. Roughly a few hours, just enough time to go through my notes. It would go even faster if you gave me a hand. You really didn't remember to bring me any cream. That's too bad.
Very well. I'll help you. Pass me the prosthesis. So, Scott, success?
Of course. These kits are rather easy to adapt to a prosthesis, and it's given me ideas. You see, we could produce prostheses with an electrical transmission system, even for non-technomancers. We would just have to...
May I?
Here.
I'd prefer if all those people weren't around.
Let's go to a quiet place.
Hey, watch out!
Oh, you bought it? Don't worry, I've already messed you up enough.
You got me.
You know, not using Technomancy requires even more control, mastery. I'd completely forgotten this feeling of relaxation, peace.
Welcome back to your people, Andrew.
Thank you very much to both of you. It's so strange. I feel like I'm a new man.
You're welcome, my boy. Have fun.
Hey.
Hey back.
I'm really happy you're here. With us. With me.
I'm happy too. Without you, I'd just be a poor broken man, lonely and jaded, wasting his life.
It's crazy that's how you see yourself. I'd have never imagined. Remember that time we had to spar against Alan and one of his tough guy asshole sidekicks?
Weren't so tough after we finished with them, were they? You talk about how good I was like you weren't gifted too. Alan never did forgive us for that. Thought that anger was gonna kill him for a while there.
Instead, it just seemed to keep him going. And he got his revenge. You remember that? Scott even had to come.
I remember Scott seeing you, but I thought it was because you'd gotten sick.
Sick from the beating I got, maybe, after Alan and his fellow pricks cornered me in one of the halls and broke 2 of my ribs.
If I'd have known that, Alan might not be walking around today. Wish I could have protected you. Won't make that same mistake again. Want to be like your shadow.
I'd be happy to be in your shadow.
Greetings, Zachariah. My congratulations, Great Master Zachariah. The decisions of the other Technomancers were sent to me. Though I wish we could offer you a proper ceremony, we are but a shell of our former selves. Know that all of us, no matter how few, renew our vows before you to preserve the secret and continue to seek the Earth at any cost. I will, if it's your desire, ensure the communication between our brothers, and if you have any mission for us, please, do not hesitate to come see me.
Melvin, thank you. Just let me know if anyone gets wind of threats or any sort of information that'll allow us to move forward. Talk to you later.
Hi, Zach. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. I'm fine, thanks. What do you think of Andrew?
Besides the fact that he still has to fucking square it with abundance, he isn't too bad. Street smart, and his being a smuggler gives him an edge. But he isn't into me, and I'm not into pining over a guy who doesn't bother to look at me anyway.
Hi, Nisha.
Hi, Zach. Everything all right?
You're close to Lucky?
I've known him for a while, yes. Since he managed to break away from his master. He was a real scumbag, you know? The merchants are not all as well-intentioned as Dandolo is. He really had a rough time, and it's made him bitter. But he can be so charming. I like him a lot, even though I wonder whether sometimes he needs a friend more than a fling.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He is a hurt man. He hides his suffering under a cynical and detached attitude. But he lost way more than his arm, even if I do not know what it is. If you could help him heal his wounds and become what he ought to become, you will discover without a doubt that he is a very giving friend. And maybe he will be less bitter.
What do you think of Andrew?
He looks like you. He has a lot of talent, you know. It is too bad that he is bitter. He makes me think of your master. What was his name again? Ah, yes, Sean. It sounds like he's after the whole planet. It is a pity for such a young man.
Say, Nisha, what are we doing?
Paying someone a visit.
Judging by your face, we are not here to rekindle an old friendship. You could have told me, you know. I'd have gone either way. I'll always be here for you.
Thanks, Andrew. That's real sweet, but I'm not too keen on elaborating on my motives. You're here with me now, and that's what really matters. Wouldn't you agree?
Stop! That's it! I'll tell you what you want to know.
Very well. You're the one who used to turn in people who were an obstacle to the ASC, right? The one who was sending innocents to rehabilitation camps?
No, look, it's way more complicated than that. Yeah, sure, I was in charge of making up evidence back when proof was needed to frame someone. But with the ASC out there headhunting, now all you gotta do is send an anonymous letter to get someone deported. But most of the time, it wasn't I who was in charge of deciding who had to leave. We would get together and present those who might threaten us. It wasn't a single man's decision. Anton wasn't our chief yet.
Not most of the time, but it happened. You sent a bunch of street kids straight to a camp, and I don't see what threat they represented, so? Why? Personal vengeance? What the hell did they do to you?
Nothing, but a girl from that gang came to see me. She told me that another kid had overheard us, and she wanted to turn us in. It was believable. And since that snot-nosed kid could have talked about it with his gang, I turned in the whole group.
You're lying. It doesn't make sense. None of us would have turned in someone in the group.
I know what I'm talking about. Why would I lie to you? The kid, I think her name was Gloria.
You lied! Gloria would have never done anything like that, you son of a... You're gonna die, scumbag.
Nisha, I understand your anger, but killing him won't give you back your years spent in a camp. Come on, leave him alone and let's go.
That guy's a monster, Zach. He used the most sinister characters of our corporations and manipulated them to get rid of poor innocent people. But you're right. This won't give me back what he took from me, nor what he took from others. I'll follow you.
Gloria. That name. No, it can't be.
Andrew, shut your fucking mouth.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Hell am I doing here? Abundance, Aurora, Technomancers. Doesn't make a goddamn difference. All a bunch of assholes begging for more power. What the hell does all of that have to do with me? Noctis's heart lies in its market, and once you control the market, taking the whole city is merely a formality. If this keeps up, Dandolo has a right to be worried.
Take a look. Good as new. Like she's right off the factory floor.
Okay, great. So we can get anywhere we need to go?
To the horizon and back if you need to.
Or a quartermaster if he was a complete stranger.
Some mutants aspire for freedom everywhere, Aurora included. When I learned that the quartermaster was looking to dispose of stocks of merchandise, I sent messengers.
Messengers? Mutant messengers? And he still took the messages seriously?
No, I paid humans, noble-looking ones too. Plus, we have a few sympathizers over there, some of which are merchants who are always more than helpful, for a price.
I thought you didn't want Dandolo in the loop.
Indeed, I had to pay them. A lot.
Quite a pickle. Exchanging weapons with Aurora when half the people in this rover are from Abundance. Goodness, what if... No, we wouldn't get caught.
I hope you can all stay discreet. I'm looking at you, Amelia. Because then our meeting would end rather... I know that Aurora tolerates alliance. Rumor has it that they even considered allying. But Abundance, they'd rather go to war. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it. If there's any corporation you want to be heard talking about, just talk about alliance. Avoid the others. Don't want to start anything.
Hey, Zach. Count on me if you need some help during the transaction. I've got real-life experience, after all.
Phobos, if Dandolo finds out you're plotting behind his back...
He's my ally, Nisha, not my mother. Which means I don't have to tell him what I'm doing at every hour.
Hi, I'm Zachariah. Are you Sincerity?
Yes. Your message mentioned that you're a merchant and that you may be interested in some merchandise. I have some overstock that I'm willing to sell, but I want to be sure that this merchandise won't end up in enemy hands. Please understand that the safety of our corporation depends on it, and that I don't want any of my superiors to learn about this type of transaction.
I hear where you're coming from. Don't worry though, the stocks won't be resold together. I'll spread them out here and there so no one will be able to track the sales back to you. Obviously, with the stocks disseminated, your enemies will have a harder time mounting a strong enough offense to harm you.
Do you have a wide enough network to disseminate the merchandise afterwards? It's true that that's a pretty good solution. Very well then. I think that we can do business. Someday, I will kill that madman.
Who is this mutant? Why did he kill the merchant?
Cain. He refused any type of relationship with humans, and I guess that is his way of showing me that he disagrees with my trying to do business with them. But he failed the negotiation I had been working on for months without even realizing that we need these weapons. Anyway, I guess I need to find another way to stock up.
Negotiations, all for nothing. Your rival's an idiot, Phobos. All he seems to want to do is piss off humans. He doesn't even seem to get it. Without humans, without Noctis, Mutant Valley's never gonna amount to shit.
I know that, and you know that, and he knows that. He just does not care. He'd rather die than rely on humans.
Listen to me. This idea that you need humans to survive, I can see how it can get annoying. But you have to admit that the other way around is true too. I know how hard it is to need someone who's treated you like dirt.
Almost. Don't be. Had I known that Cain would intervene, I would have never arranged our meeting there.
Cain, what a guy. Looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Instead, he'd kill hundreds.
He hates humans. hates their guts, and he won't stop until he dies. And unfortunately, he has a lot of followers.
What did... I don't understand. We had to buy something, right? So then why did that big mutant kill our trading partner? Did the mutant work for abundance too?
No, Scott. The mutant doesn't work for abundance. He killed the man from his own hate, and it left us unable to finish the exchange.
Oh, I see. How sudden. What a twist.
Such a waste. All that time spent for that exchange to turn into nothing. If I find out who told Kane about the meeting, I'd show him what makes me different from scum.
Take it easy, big guy. With all these intercorporation wars, finding weapons won't be too difficult. I could ask around for you.
What? Thank you, Andrew.
We were lucky Kane didn't attack you too, Phobos. He obviously doesn't like you. You're his natural competition for Chief.
I say bring him on. That brute doesn't scare me.
Hey there, you the painter?
Yeah, that's me. Got something for me?
Pigment delivery.
You got everything I need, that's all I care about. Kinda surprised, though. Thought we'd seen the last of the deliveries from our little merchant friends, given what happened. Don't know how the hell you did it.
What are you talking about?
Hell, you don't know. Victor had a caravan stopped and every poor bastard in it tortured. Truth is, they ain't just rumors. Our informants never let us down before. You better be careful, Mancer. Really careful. Oh, one last thing. Keep the deliveries coming. And I know you want to know if I'm a painter, and those are really just pigments. Better you don't dig too deep, though. Safer for everyone.
If what she says is true, then there's a good chance that the ASC infiltrated Noctis. I'll have to find out who they are, and where they're hiding, so that we can feel safer.
Zach, you know I'll help in any way I can. I'll be damned if we're gonna let the Thought Police settle in Noctis too. They destroy it. Noctis has only survived all these decades by staying hidden from the corporations. This will be the first time that someone tries to go after them for a change.
Sorry I'm bringing the battle to your doorstep.
It would have happened sooner or later anyway. Dandolo's just gonna have to prove he's ready to face them too. But he knew this day was coming, so I'm sure he's got resources stored up.
Hush up. As we close in on the city, I'll have to dodge a shit ton of potholes made by the fuckload of traffic. So I'm gonna need absolute concentration.
Noctis is quaint, but too businessy for my taste.
Well, it is a merchant city.
Indeed, but where's the science? Where's the progress? After all, science is the one who made all this possible. I mean, it's also the reason why we're stuck here.
When we get there, we should go say hello to Dandolo. He hates it when I don't stop by to peck him on the cheek.
I still like this city. It was the first human place where my brothers could roam free.
I didn't see many of you there, though.
So many memories over there. So many bad ones. The nostalgia of spending hundreds of hours in the unloading area, filling and emptying Marcello's sand sails. Is nostalgia the right word? Because past aside, it feels like home now. What are you looking for, Amelia?
Info on a little mutant. Or a kid who became a mutant.
Talk to Phobos then. Sure, he'd know more than anyone else about that.
Good point.
I always feel funny seeing the city from a distance.
That's because it looks like a big old beetle with its metal shell. Wait for a sandstorm, and you'll get to see the beetle fly. Who wants to stick around for a sandstorm? No? No takers?
Ah, home sweet home, as they would say. Though, I'm not sure who they... Oh, I do hope my clinic is still there.
No reason it wouldn't be, Scott.
But it's a wily one. My clinic, I swear, it once moved overnight.
You were just stinking drunk.
I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth. I can almost smell my people's blood and sweat from here.
I've been spending my whole life sneaking in and out of this city. Getting sick of it.
As long as Vic the Dick is around, he'll be hunting for Zach, and we'll have to keep a low profile. But if it bothers you so much, I can drop you off here.
I don't want new friends. I'd rather change our destination.
Ophir's quite ominous from a distance, like a big black tick hanging above the canyon, sucking the life out of its citizens. Sorry, was that too dark?
Greetings, Zachariah.
I'm gonna need everyone's help. ASC's infiltrated Noctis, and as you already know, that's not a good thing.
We just got away from them. Why can't they just leave us alone? What? What do you want us to do about it? Most of us are terrified of them. They're immune to our powers.
I understand your frustration and your fear. I wasn't there, and don't even want to imagine what they put you through. But we don't back down from fear. We're military. We fight. And I will be damned if we will back down from a few fucking ASC spies with lightning rods.
I hope you can see our secret's at risk. But I agree, the best defense is a strong first attack. If we hide and wait for them, we put our secret even more at risk. So what do you propose we do?
From what I can tell, the spies have weaseled their way into 3 groups. But we can't move until we know which members are from the ASC. Moles disguise themselves as mercenaries, religious zealots, and even merchants.
Then I'll dispatch some eyes to keep tabs on those groups.
Thank you.
Things keep going like this, I'm in danger of actually liking Technomancers. I'd rather deal with a mole queen than Victor.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, fine. Technomancers are more like locusts than a mole queen. I guess the comparison isn't fair.
How this dome will match up to the one in Ophir.
The one in Ophir? That was your Technomancer hideout, right? I was always curious, but I wasn't allowed near it. Due to confidential shit.
Yes, it used to be some sort of museum. It's a fascinating place.
Looks more like a pile of rocks to me. Let's hope this other one is in better shape. Otherwise, that doohickey thingamajig you're looking for will be really hard to find.
If the dome is really off the grid, then it could still be in good condition. But we should be ready for anything. The scavengers could have beat us to the punch and scrapped and sold it. How big is it? Should we be able to spot it from afar?
I wouldn't bet on it. If I understood correctly, there'll be some small housing domes. But what we're interested in is the archives of these ancient...
Heritage. What a funny little... The offspring of those who built the dome probably reside in our cities. Or perhaps even one of us is a great-great-great... And yet here we are, chasing after old ruins so we can rummage for answers on our ancestors. How remarkable... Absurd, isn't it?
We have the turmoil to thank for that.
I find humans' curiosity towards the domes curious. Why do you pursue them and other artifacts with such zealotry?
I don't want to be mean, Phobos, but as a mutant, you've become something else. Isn't it hard to keep revering something that brings back memories of those who used and exploited you?
Yes, but no matter what happens, Earth is a forbidden fruit, and for that, we choose to forge ahead and not dawdle in the past.
I can't wait to see it. I've never seen an intact colonial dome. There are only a few ruins in the canyon leading to Noctis, and they are in such a terrible state. Most are so badly destroyed that you'd need a pretty strong imagination to call them domes.
This is the famous Dome in the Sands. What do you hope to find here, Zach? You never did tell me what you were hoping to find in these ruins.
I made a promise, a vow as a Technomancer, that I'd find a way to contact Earth. So finding a beacon would mean... everything.
Hell of a vow, Zach. Usually I only make promises I know I can keep. But I admire the persistence in the impossible. Though I'm not sure there's a beacon here, this dome doesn't look particularly important.
That dome is in pretty bad shape. What do you expect to find in there? You know, apart from the typical 100 bad guys that want to rip your head off. If you really think you can communicate with Earth, you're batshit crazy. But I always like to have one crazy on board. No danger, no fun. Driving off shadow paths, hitting up decrepit dunes. This day keeps getting better. Now let's dig up some buried treasure, cause I'd make one badass motherfucking pirate.
Technomancer gate. Gonna need your help, Andrew.
Then my help's what you'll get, buddy.
Zachariah Rogue in the flesh. Guess some rumors are true after all. Time to take out the trash. Kill them all.
Still can't believe Alan was here.
Talk about climbing the corporate ladder, right? That fucker's now the alpha Technomancer of abundance.
How can he vouch for Victor, the man who caused the death of our great master? I knew Alan was ambitious, but to that extent?
There will always be men who will sell out for phony rewards. Give him a medal, a pompous title, and he'll ask you where and when to turn in his mother. This infection of uncurbed greed happens even among mutants. Just look around. You've seen the pen. Some of the Guardians are mutants themselves. And they can be the harshest of them all, disciplining for the sake of breaking in their batons.
You taught your rival a lesson. Now we should know better than to run after you.
If I know Alan, it'll only get worse.
At least we found some information, even if we can't read it. How's your ancient hieroglyphics, Zach?
No, I can't. Nobody I know can, except Great Master Ian. It's a coded language that's nearly impossible to learn.
Dandolo will find you a translator. Let's hope it's worth it, and not something boring like a soup recipe.
What can we expect at this camp?
Judging from Nisha's face, not something pretty. I feel like I'm driving a hearse.
Whatever you're thinking, it's 1,000 times worse. You're taking us to hell.
But aren't they called work camps?
More like prisons, where the primary goal is to break spirits and destroy free will. Their final products are submissive beings akin to farm animals, and their methods end up destroying some and brainwashing the others.
This Aurora Technomancer we search for must be hiding in plain sight. He'll be very discreet, so we'll have to look for someone normal. Almost too normal.
I hope we're able to free the other prisoners. We could help them get a fresh start in Noctis.
I know you want to sit with the cool kids, but my rover can only hold so many people. Sorry, can't take everyone.
If we can distract the guards, I can get Dandolo to send a rescue team. It wouldn't be the first time he's done that.
If Dandolo can bring the manpower, we can bring the diversion. We'll free them.
Didn't manage to let a single person know he was a Technomancer or from a rival corporation. All while in a camp made to break you. Made to brainwash you. That's no ordinary man.
No one would know how much willpower a Technomancer needs to resist more than you.
Guess that's true.
I specifically came to this camp in order to find you. You brought back a dome lost in the sands, a tablet that I'm unable to translate.
It is written in the settlers' coded language, one they use for the important data. By all means, I can translate it, but this type of thing can take time, and I can't do it here.
Come with us to Noctis. I am sure that you'll find a place to stay.
Noctis?
The city of the merchants. It's an independent city. There you won't have to fear Aurora or abundance.
Well then, I'll follow you.
Boy, am I glad to leave this place.
Me too. I don't care where you take me. Anywhere is better than prison.
It stank like fucking death in there. I don't know what to say. I feel ashamed. I'm from abundance. What they do to people in there... inhuman.
To think that even Ophir looks like a paradise after seeing such a place. I am grateful, however, for we managed to save a few souls.
You okay, Nisha?
No, not really. I don't want to talk about it right now.
I get that the place could have triggered some bad memories. I'm sorry, Nisha.
I was just starting to worry.
What for?
Bad news, I'm afraid. The ASC's not only in Noctis, but they're starting to threaten its safety. I know you did what you could to get rid of their spies, but if you stay here, they'll come back. And now we may be open to a direct attack from Abundance. I'm sorry, Zachariah. They're after you and your friends. I can't risk the safety of all my people for just you.
So you're turning your back on us?
No, no. I would never turn my back on a friend. I set a meeting for you with the Technomancers from Aurora. Their arms are open. You'll be safer from Victor with them by your side. You just can't stay here.
Why are you helping me?
A scratch on the back for what I hope will be a long-term relationship, Mr. Mancer. They'll meet you under one of their shadow paths. Take the map. You'll be well received. Now get going. As soon as you can gather your things and friends together. The longer you stay, the more danger those of us around you face.
How'd you manage to get in touch with Aurora's Technomancers?
It wasn't easy, but we have agents in all of the corporation's cities. The equivalent of Nisha, but not as easy on the eyes, lives in Shadowlair and was our point on this little mission. Their Technomancers are quite knowledgeable, powerful, and I assume the idea of having one of their counterparts from Abundance join them and give them a little upper hand probably put a few smiles on their faces. But their chief's name, it's slipping my mind. Profanity? No, something more. Chastity, promiscuity, generosity. Yeah, that's the one. Their chief's named Generosity, I think. He's quite chummy with the Dowser wisdom, I hear. Shouldn't be too hard for him to make you feel welcome. So set your mind at ease.
Now we're headed back to Aurora. This is the definition of insanity. Do you think they know how many times I've attacked them?
I'm really sorry, Zach. I'm sure Dandolo would have preferred to keep us all in Noctis. It makes me uncomfortable, but we can't keep Noctis under Victor's crosshairs. He wouldn't hesitate to wipe it off the face of Mars just to get his hands on you.
I don't know about that. Big Bad Victor is definitely a manipulative rat, but he's gonna have a lot of trouble wiping out a city like Noctis using a couple of harebrained schemes.
Do the corporations differ all that much? I know you were raised to think so, but as a mutant, I only see humans bickering over petty squabbles. The differences don't matter now, especially since they're welcoming you with open arms. Supposedly, Technomancers are treated well.
Here's the truth. I know this transition's gonna be hard for you. Aurora may ask you to fight against your former corporation. You may end up on the battlefield against men and women you knew from before. At least there's no chance of coming up against an old Technomancer buddy, because they're all with you. Well, except for that Snake Allen. But that doesn't really matter, right?
What bothers me is that they're gonna commandeer my baby. I'm warning you, Zach. I like you, but if they try to take my rover, I'm out. So fucking out! It's me and my rover or nothing.
Release him. Let him serve as our messenger. I hope, Zachariah, that you'll forgive this little charade. But it was a means to an end, necessary to ensure peace of mind, the safety of Noctis, and those who will now welcome you. The ASC now believes you uprooted yourself to Aurora, where they will never go looking for you. So, keep a low profile here, and you'll have nothing to fear. I hope that suits your needs. To send you to Aurora was never really an option. The political climate is not exactly conducive to a Technomancer. And here you have Phobos, who's offered to open the doors of his home to you. But I'll leave him to explain this better. Your brothers and sisters will follow you. Be well, Zachariah. Oh yes, one last thing before you go. So, I have some troubling news about your friend, Scott.
Where is he?
Mutants spotted him near the Shadow Path. Come here. Let me show you on the map.
Why would he go there?
Haven't the slightest. There's an Abundance outpost there. Might have been taken there by force. From what my informants told me, he looked like he was in a precarious situation.
Thanks for the info, Dandolo. Owe you one. I feel like I got ripped off. Dandolo had planned everything from the start. The costumes, the rover repair, and he even let Victor settle down without a word. All of that just to organize a fake meeting.
What did I tell ya? A douchebag with real nice clothes is still a douchebag. Even though he totally fucked us over, I gotta say, what you just did back there, real classy. Victor the Dictor's probably having a little tantrum.
I'm glad you find it amusing, Amelia. Go south. My people's refuge isn't far away. But you have to know where to look, or you'd never be the wiser.
What's it like? Magical city hidden away in a floaty island or something?
Nothing like that. It's a valley, or perhaps more accurately, a crater. There is vegetation there unlike anywhere else. Truly something you've never seen before.
A secret place that's one of a kind? What the fuck are we waiting for?
I'm used to not being welcome wherever I go, but this place, won't we be despised for who we are? After what they've all been through, the grudges they hold against mankind, are more than understandable. But I'm worried, Phobos. Will your support be enough to grant us safe passage?
I believe so, but I'll also need to ask for Scum's support. He's our best orator, so as long as he's on board, it won't be a problem.
Farewell, Noctis. I'm sorry to have to leave you this way.
I'm sorry, Nisha.
Stop. It's not your fault. It's Victor's. I just hope I can come home soon.
Do your business here, but you cannot enter the valley. No human is allowed there.
There must be a way to make an exception.
Sorry, Phobos. You know that I respect you, but I am following orders. To be honest with you, it is for your friend's safety. I do not know how they would welcome them in there. Maybe if another speaker supported them.
I will go see Scum. I managed to see him. He offered me something. Scum is an important figure here, one of the great speakers. People listen to him. If he supports you, you will be able to get in without being lynched. But he wants you to prove yourself by helping a group of mutants. From what he hears, a group of mutants have escaped a labor camp. They have not arrived here, though, so he fears they have found trouble. We will need to find them and see what has gone wrong. Bring them safely to the valley, and you will not only earn their support, but Scum's as well. Quite the asset.
All right. Do we know how they were supposed to get here?
The shortest and safest route to take is the canyon, right here.
Let's go see what happened to them.
And there we go. Set for another round. Do you think one day we may get to settle down?
I don't know. Is that a problem?
Not at all. I'm used to it, and it's one of the rare things I appreciate about merchant life. I wasn't made to just sit around. If you have a minute, can we talk?
What's this about?
Thanks to you and Scott, I got my abilities back. Doesn't make me a Technomancer, though, does it? Doesn't make me one of you. And I know you all go through a lot of training together, which I never had. Everything I know was picked up from an old renegade Technomancer who showed me some of the basics. Had to trade it for a little serum. But I'm tired of being on the outside. I just want to belong. If you, I guess, think I'm worthy or whatever.
You're right, Andrew. Maybe it is time to initiate you.
How painful is it?
Guess you'll see. He obviously can't use the old sight anymore, so you'll need some imagination. But we can give it a go. Come on.
Hell yeah, fucking right. There aren't many paths leading to mutant valleys that are safe from the sun. We'll find them.
For a successful escape, the breakout is just half the battle. The other half is diligence. It is likely that they moved slowly and decided to stop and hide at nightfall, so I am not worried. But a little help never hurt anyone. See anything, Amelia?
Nope, but we're still far from that place he showed us. My baby's fast, but it doesn't go the fucking speed of light.
One must muster quite a bit of courage to escape from a city, only to risk it all in the desert, defenseless while soldiers are in hot pursuit, or have already suffered greatly.
I wonder how long they chase after them once they've left the cities. Most people think it's impossible to survive in the desert. So wouldn't they figure they could let the desert do their dirty work for them?
I hope no one was wounded. Blood attracts creatures of all sorts, predators that'll pounce on the weak.
You're just an old fool, aren't you? Risking your own neck to shelter the rogue. Well, if your neck's no value to you, it's no value to me either. I'm off to Ophir. Soldiers, abundance has fed its parasites for far too long. I think it's time we stop some of the leeching.
No, stop! Listen to me. Let me...
If I don't step in, they'll kill him.
Guys like that make you hate Technomancy altogether. We better get a move on and do something damn quick if we want to find the old professor alive.
We made it just in time. That toad could have done some serious damage.
I think I'm gonna hurl.
But this is rather quite fascinating. Did you know that the lichen on its back is not merely a parasite? Well, maybe you... Anyway, they actually have a symbiotic relationship. The lichen cools off the toad's skin, while the toad lets the lichen feed off the ooze. Well, oozing from its pores.
Yeah, now I'm definitely gonna hurl.
Thank the moons. We were able to save them. I don't know if they could have survived without our help. Scum will be happy to see they made it. The gates of Mutant Valley will open wide for you this day, friend.
I'm antsy to get to town. I'm getting tired of spending night after night in this rover.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to bump you up to first class, bitch ass?
No. But even you have to admit, it'd be nice to go to the bathroom with a door.
I'm anxious to meet Scum. He's quickly becoming a legend around these parts. Some people in Noctis talk about him like he's some kind of messiah, even though he's only just been freed from Abundance's prisons.
Yes, he has lived most of his life at Camp 19, but he has shown great wisdom since his arrival. And he is quite the speaker. I think you two will get along very well. I know not a more devout advocate for peace.
Some people just want to revel in violence. They don't care who gets thrown into the carnage as long as they get their fill. Your brothers will pay for this, Phobos. We'll stop them.
I know.
Someone needs to step up and lead the mutants, Phobos. And honestly, you make a great chief. Especially since they'd need someone to lead them in whatever battles lie ahead for them.
It is not a role I wish to fill.
Yeah, but there's no better leader than the one who isn't seeking power. Your people need you now.
Scum would be even better. Plus, if I ran for office, how could I travel around this planet with all of you?
Phobos isn't necessarily wrong, but just the help brought by the Technomancers and mutants isn't going to be enough. We need people able to really influence Ophir's policy, too. Like Dandolo, maybe. He loves playing games like that. Or, you know, you still have your contacts in the military, don't you? Maybe they'd help one of their own ex-officers who was wrongly accused.
Scott, thanks for coming. Please have a seat. I'm just trying to understand something.
Ah, a scientific query. Let us engage.
No, not quite. I just wanted to understand what you were doing with Alan under that shadow path. A couple mutants saw you and said you told Alan that you knew what he was, and that you could do... Of course, the jackass didn't give a damn. All he wanted to know was where we were. But what the hell were you trying to do, Scott?
Do? I wasn't doing. I was doing something, but not what... There are opportunities in life. He might have become an ally, a great Technomancer. Even if you're not friends, he could... I was... a mistake.
Charles told me about his research, what he discovered. I know you read it and know our secret. That you know exactly what we are, and that you were about to tell Alan.
I believed, who would guess he would be so stupid as to not listen to all I had to say? But I guess now is the time I should start explaining. It is a rather laborious story, some of which you know, some of which it was 17 years ago, with our corporation's unparalleled obsession with the perfect man. I found myself ensconced in gene research. My son, my flesh and blood son. I loved that child, cherished him like nothing else, but my work stole time from him. More and more, and when he was diagnosed with symptoms of the mutation, I disintegrated. As the best geneticist in Abundance, I ensconced myself in research of its genome, discovering its mutation, and I heard whispers of tests the settlers had made, because they, too, had been coping with the chaotic mutative effects of the radiation. So, my friend, Mark, delivered me to a distant city, remote, nearly unlivable. I stayed there, poring through their documents until one day, I uncovered their work on a therapy, which had only a singular side effect.
It modified the human body's electrical production.
Precisely. Technomancers are the result of a controlled genetic manipulation, mutations instigated to protect us from more erratic mutations created by the radiation, a discovery I found myself racing to try out on my son. But first, I needed test subjects. So I volunteered to heal children in the slums. Found 2 young boys there to test its efficacy. And lo and behold, it worked!
Andrew and me.
Yes, yes. Your abilities were gained thanks to my experiments, but that was not all that was gained. I had proof that I could replicate the therapy, and that, you know, now, could resist other forms of mutations. From there, well, I secured a research budget from the military, who in turn assured me they would return my son. But for him, it was too late. The experiment failed to help him, and I found myself with little choice but to end his suffering, rather than see him in a life of slavery, the life of a monster. And to the military, because I could not yet reveal what I knew, as I knew not yet what you were to become. Saw only my failure. I lost everything, found myself socially exiled. And when Andrew's death came, you, Zachariah, became my only chance for success, my only chance to regain my past glory. So I kept close to you for all these years, until you finally became a Technomancer, my success. A chance for me to win back my approval, glory within abundance. I would be the man who created Technomancers. We needed to escape. By seeing Alan, I had hoped to fix that they might take you back, and in turn, I might... Madness had overtaken me. Greed. Instead of being proud of my success in you, I only wanted more and more, and... Forgive me.
Leave me alone. Please.
Why do you bring me here?
My master brought me to a dome like this when I became a Technomancer. It was full of relics, collected by generations of Technomancers from Abundance. There were old consoles there that would allow me to listen to the old recordings, discussions, musings of the settlers, and a little view of their life. The dome doesn't exist anymore. There's not much left of what we used to be. But I want that knowledge to last, so I want to tell you what I learned from my master Sean, before a mantis destroyed all the knowledge that was there.
All right. What was your master like?
He was quiet and kept to himself, but over time we still managed to grow close. He hated how Technomancers were treated in Abundance, dreamed of freedom. He seemed calm, cool and collected, but on the inside, he was all rebel. He couldn't stand taking orders, which never goes down well.
Miss him?
No matter how many times you're told, or how well you know that one day you're going to be separated from your parents or masters, it never makes it easier when it finally happens. And it's only harder when you have no one else to really guide you. Technomancers are my family, but Sean was like my father.
It was probably hard for him too. I got a feeling I would have liked him if I'd ever had the chance to know him.
There was a pitch-black circular room with a console in the middle. When I started it up, flickering bluish images appeared. A doctor examining a man. The man had apparently undergone a mutation that allowed him to generate a massive electrical charge. He was the first Technomancer, Andrew.
So you're saying you and I are...
afflicted with a specific mutation that the settlers were studying. It's why they created our gear. You, who has witnessed the secret with your own eyes, who, in your heart, knows the knowledge that he bears is true, and has understood that this knowledge could cast our kind into an endless pit of despair. As you drink the sap of the world, The water that feeds our lives. Abandon who you thought you were, and now become our brother, Andrew Mancer. Together, we've shared the water and secret. Now, swear to forever protect the knowledge of the Earth, and dedicate your life to finding it again. To defend and protect our secret, even if you must sacrifice your life to do so.
I swear I will.
Then, welcome, brother.
I want to thank you, Zach. I'm still trying to come to terms with some thoughts and feelings about what we found in the dome together. What we've found together. All of it. I never felt so close to anyone. No one's ever given me this much before. I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't want to say something that's gonna, whatever, but it made me realize you mean more to me than a friendship. More than... You've become someone I want to be like. No. Someone I want to be with.
It's not gonna whatever me, Andrew. I feel exactly the same way. The same. Next time we're on break, come meet me in my bedroom. If you want.
I do. And I will.
Now that we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right and isn't just some senile old man, maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
We would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies could help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
It's a good idea, but we can't influence entire populations by ourselves. We'd need allies hidden among the people.
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say "Hail to the Shadow" 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, the trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that can pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved colonel, a pimp? To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
If Anton's letting it happen on his territory, there's probably some kickbacks in it for him. So, since he's not gonna help us, we need to gather first-hand intel ourselves. I could start asking former prostitutes, but back in my days as an officer, I ran into a band of girls, and I think this exploited girls topic may interest them. Maybe enough for them to help us.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
It's not ideal, but I have no way of finding out what dirt the ASC has on that man. We'll have to go without his support, and hope we can get enough voters elsewhere.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But?
This is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
No, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen.
Not even a slight bit suspicious? Maybe it's a trap?
If it was, I don't think he'd have arranged it in front of one of the most popular bars in Ophir.
Victor's so powerful that nothing he could do would surprise me. But you're right, there are easier ways of setting us up.
Captain, good to see you.
Strange things. Scott Seeker was, apparently, much more respected back in the day. He even managed to convince the army at one point that he could heal and trigger mutation. The idea of triggering mutations apparently really got some interest, and the army launched a new division and put him in charge. Even brought him a few mutants to run tests on, one of which was his son. Obviously never went anywhere. Nobody got healed. The program was shut down, and the mutants, including his son, were terminated. So sad. Almost makes you want to look at the old man differently.
Yeah, sure does. Thank you, Captain.
Poor bastard. Went through a hell of a lot. Can't imagine what it's like to live with yourself after this. Especially now after discovering an entire city full of free mutants. It's like a bad dream that doesn't end.
It must be heartbreaking. But still, I think he would have rather had his son's humanity returned to him instead of a life like that.
I don't think that's it. He sees mutation as a puzzle waiting to be solved. When his son changed, he believed that he could fix him. He didn't care what lengths he would go to further that goal, and didn't realize how fruitless his efforts were. He could have seen the reunion. The son who adores the ASC and the father who hates them. Now that's family conflict.
Better family conflict than no family at all, right?
Is it? We might not have family, but at least we have each other, and spare each other hate.
Blood's thicker than water, and that judge's love for his son, no matter what he's become, we'll find a way to bring him back to reason.
What's on that tablet's not only gonna bring Victor down, it holds a lot of power. You know how much of the Assembly can be blackmailed with the info in there? Half those girls' clients are politicians. Better give it to someone you trust. Gets into the wrong hands, a lot of people are gonna suffer.
I recovered a tablet from a pimp working for Victor. It holds all the secrets his girls managed to get out of their clients.
And you have evidence Victor was involved?
With all those notes, he also wrote down every order Victor ever gave him. How much more incriminating could they be?
Give me that. I'll pass it up the chain. Victor's gonna have a hard time recovering from a scandal like this.
That's the hope, Captain.
I can't believe it, Zach, but you did it. They just told me an influential Assembly member wishes to chat with you. I think he's leaning toward giving Victor the boot.
I don't know if it's worth the risk. What if I get caught in public? There's still a bounty on my head.
If this meeting goes well, not for long. Plus, he's asked to meet discreetly in front of the Curiosities. I don't think he's trying to start a brawl in a crowded public joint like that. Just tell the truth, and it'll be bye-bye, Victor.
Hoping to find there, Amelia?
I don't know, debris? Tracks? Just something to help me understand how a top reacher like my dad could get lost on Eos Chasma, one of the easiest fucking roads on the planet.
My guess? He got into an accident. Something he couldn't avoid. It's happened to us, after all.
Maybe. I just want to find out. That's all I'm asking.
I fear I may be getting sick.
Sorry, Scott. I understand that looking for the remains of your best friend is probably painful, but Amelia deserves answers.
Sometimes the past just gives us answers we were afraid to know. I just hope that won't be the case this time.
Even if we find the rover wreck, it'd be easy pickings for a passing scavenger or thief. So there might not be much left.
The fuck you say that for?
Sorry, I just don't want you to get your hopes up.
Whoa, Amelia, ease up. I know you want answers, but it's probably best not to crash while looking for a crash site.
You kidding me? I wonder what you'd say if we actually went fast.
I guess everyone's version of moderate is different.
Crap, we actually found a rover, and it's still got parts left. You sure it's your father's?
Fucking positive. Odds are way too small with so few rovers out there that there'd be one that belonged to another Reacher on my dad's route.
You alright?
Of course. Why? Just finding the rover doesn't tell us anything, Zach. Now I gotta inspect the damn thing to try and figure out what happened to him.
Yeah, I found this. There's a message on it, Amelia. One you're not gonna be happy to hear.
Whatever it is, it's better than not knowing the truth. Give it.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my road. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing. So far away, and in the end, that you tell my daughter I'm sorry, but to give up courageous enough to keep her by my side. I should have fought for her. Rover, take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
Where the hell, Scott? Where is he?
Authentic relics as bait?
We'll only be using the minor relics. Novelty items that don't do anything. Could probably find them in any old ruin.
Just because they're novelty items to a Technomancer doesn't make them any less valuable. We want the clergy to believe they're worth dying for.
Exactly why fakes would make people suspicious.
And how do you figure that?
Let's just say I've gotten a little peek into Nisha's world. If she was just an acquaintance, I don't think the backstabbing would have been taken so personally.
Hey, you wanted to see me?
Ah, yes. Sorry we had to meet here. The source must have been difficult to get to. But I'm pleased to finally make your acquaintance.
Yeah, this isn't exactly homey. What can I do for you?
I've been informed about Colonel Victor's less wholesome activities and your role in revealing them. With the assembly in uproar, my group is trying to pick a stance amidst the chaos.
Colonel Victor's scandals and his methods have shocked the members of the congregation and the common people. Continuing support of the Colonel is political suicide. The trust between the people and their leaders must be restored for the good of abundance.
You may be young, but you are wise. Victor is in a precarious position, and if his head is on a stake, his allies will join him. Better to jump ship before the crash. I, for one, have never approved of his methods, but the results have always been effective. The winds are changing, momentum is shifting, and we must show our objection to his brutality.
Corruption is rampant at every level of our corporation, but who can say no to serum?
Are you trying to bribe me?
No, of course not. I was simply referring to the Colonel's buyouts of certain assembly members. This back scratching has been toxic for abundance. For now, Victor roams unchecked.
I agree. Alone, I can do nothing but agree. Perhaps it is time to gather truly honest men to represent the people of our great corporation.
Look around you. Do you see the people? They're scared, angry. Victor's incessant intrusion has violated the privacy of their lives, their relationships. They no longer feel free. All this whistleblowing has shattered our sense of community. No one trusts each other, and vendettas and misunderstandings alike send innocents to be imprisoned, tortured, or killed at the ASC's whim. Colonel Victor won't stop until he pushes the people of Abundance to flee or fight, to the brink of revolution.
You're painting a very dark picture here. What you're saying could happen, I agree. Victor's playing with fire, and the flames grow with each passing day. We could lose everybody, our workers, our scientists, our soldiers, and they will be turned into our worst enemy.
Our army's ranks are spread thin and filled with the Colonel's lackeys. If he wanted to seize power, declare martial law, Abundance wouldn't have the strength to repel him. And his unjustified arrests of our master Technomancers forced them to flee, adding to our enemy's advantage in skilled forces. Many of our soldiers have deserted, some unwilling to participate in Victor's madness. Others turned mad by his combat drugs. We must stop Victor before it's too late.
Oh my. I did not realize Victor had taken things so far. This is grave news. You're right. We need to curtail the bleeding, so we can give our army a chance to rebuild.
Surely a man of your experience weighs the implications of every decision exceptionally carefully. Even though Colonel Victor had the best intentions in mind, he used methods that greatly undermine the authority of Abundance. I'm sure a prominent member of the Assembly, a man such as yourself, would make the right choice.
You should have been a politician, young man.
Listen, man. I'm the poster girl of abundance. This city, it's my home. So when I see what this piece of shit, human garbage Colonel Motherfucker has done to it, it makes me pretty pissed off. We can't let this continue!
I think I now understand why we didn't include a caption with the photo. You are quite persuasive. You have convinced me. I will go and try to do the same to my peers. Of course, even with unanimous focus and direction, it will take months to regain the trust of our people and rebuild the strength of our army. But most urgently, we must remove the man who started it all. An extraordinary meeting will take place in a few hours, and I have no doubt that it will end with good news.
No mercy for traitors! Treacherous scum!
Two-faced bastard! Cut out his tongue!
Bumbling fool! Throw him in with the mutants!
Here we come.
Someone sounds excited.
Well, duh, the landscape's drop-dead gorgeous. As for the city, integrating with the valley's natural overhangs and alcoves to avoid using a metal dome, pure genius. It makes me worry about getting fried. And we'll always be strangers there.
For now, most mutants don't have an innate hatred for humans. We just need to give them time to heal.
Still, we'll never be able to walk a mile in their shoes. And for that, we'll always be outsiders. I ain't mad, though. If I were them, it'd be my personal mission to fuck up every single humanoid who said good day to me.
Right now, we must focus on uniting our nation. I understand you find it difficult to feel at home, but know that you are a friend, and that as long as I live here, you will be welcome. And when our people are finally free, I know many of my brothers and sisters will welcome you too.
Don't stress out about the roof. You won't be instantly mutated. I have heard tales. But yeah, what a beautiful place. Natural, organic, how refreshing. Humans should take notes.
This city makes me sad.
You're not gonna cry, are ya? I just had these seats cleaned.
I mean, I think I would have liked to, know before of its existence. It's all right. Sad is too grandiose. Wistful, yes, wistful. By Jove, I've done it.
You alone?
Not anymore.
Zach, being this close, going through this journey together, I don't want it to stop. Ever.
Me too. I get it. I've been alone for so long, I never thought I would have someone enter my life. someone I would feel so close to. There's no reason why it should stop. Not ever. Back to square one.
Damn, that's weird. But I thought the dome was in ruins. So then, where'd they put that old geezer?
There should be a few standing structures next to the ones that collapsed, unless they've already started clearing the rubble.
That sounds like bad news.
It would be. There were secrets in those ruins. I would rather have stayed buried, especially from the ASC.
That's the problem with secrets. All that time spent worrying about someone finding out, it's a burden that turns into a habit, that turns into obsession. I know you're just as scared about what's in the dome as what patience might reveal. I just hope the old man's still holding on. He's as stubborn as an unfed ostrich. But I don't know if it'll be enough in the hands of the ASC.
Poor Patience. He thought he was finally safe in Noctis. Instead, we threw him straight back into Victor's arms.
What do you mean? We saved him from that camp.
It's just, we must have attracted the attention of Victor's spies when we asked Dandolo to keep an eye on him. He was supposed to be just another nobody in Noctis, but our request ended up selling him out.
These thugs, more like cavemen with bigger sticks, don't understand respect, science, age, or knowledge. Any problem they can't solve, they'll use torture. What's 2 plus 2? I don't know. Let's torture the mathematician and find out. Ugly brutes. If they take power in abundance, they'll turn it into a Darwinistic jungle. A whole group of psychopaths, wanting to take control of everything through mindless violence.
Sounds like this story hits close to home.
It's true. I understand what that poor Technomancer must be going through. The pain. So, I hope we find him soon.
We'll have to be careful. The place must be teeming with troops. And as much as I believe in the honest run and gun, if they hold Patience hostage, our rescue plans might have to be a bit more sophisticated.
You're right.
This is where you were initiated.
Yeah, but the dome was in better condition, and the ASC weren't here. There was a giant mantis, though.
A giant mantis? Don't tell me that was part of the initiation.
No, the area had decoys dressed as thieves. The monsters were unplanned, though I learned a lot from the experience. If it weren't for my master, I would have died down there.
Must be strange coming back. All the memories.
Patience, wake up! Patience, come on! Damn it, they almost killed him.
Stop! Let me go. I won't tell you it. Zach, holy shit, is it really you?
What the hell happened to you?
I was on the way back to my place. There was someone behind me, and before I could turn, he was on me. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a cell. They tortured me for days. Wanted me to talk, wanted me to tell them everything I knew about you. Where you were, what you were doing, what we found.
You figure out what the tablet said?
Unfortunately. If I hadn't, then I wouldn't have been able to tell them anything, but I just finished when they found me.
What did you tell him?
At the beginning I fought, Zach. I did. I fought. Didn't say a damn thing. Then Victor came. And the shit he did to me, Zach, you have no idea. I didn't tell him everything. I didn't, but I had to tell him something. Or I told him what I found in the tablet. Everything. I'm so sorry. I...
Stop. It's fine. You did what you could. Everyone's got a breaking point. What did it say?
It talked about a giant research base that was able to keep in contact with Earth. They had a beacon and gave the base's coordinates. I mean, the coordinates weren't up to date anymore, so I had to recalculate them, but it's in the South Pole, Zach. It's protected by a huge layer of ice.
If you can walk, we need to get out of here.
I can. Let me try. Just let me rest a minute. Just a minute.
All right. Let's untie you and get you out of here.
must find the City of Ice before they do, Zachariah. If Victor finds the beacon, he could use it to gain the people's trust. Furthermore, if he finds the...
He's got a head start, but we'll catch him.
Aye aye, Zach. But if it's really the City of Ice...
What?
I'll have to make some mods. It'll be tougher than you think. Also, wear an extra layer or two if you don't want to freeze your nuts off.
Big Ice City. Huh. That reminds me of...
A tangent that'll lead to another tangent?
No, Yes, that was it.
As long as Victor has the Assembly's blessing and the full support of the ASC, it'll be pointless to look for that city. With his huge resource advantage, he'd beat us there every time.
What do you think we'll find in that lost city? You know, besides the beacon. I suspect the settlers brought back plants and animals from Earth, and probably left some in that base. And if just a few survived, we could find an ecosystem unlike any on Mars, completely sheltered by the ice.
Why should we go to this city instead of just overthrowing Victor? What are you planning?
I'm looking for a beacon. I want to get in touch with Earth, but not so I can run from the ASC. It's so I can reunite with our ancestors, gain back everything we've lost. With the people of Earth, we can stop the wars over water. We can utilize the technology we lost. We can understand the choices they made.
That sounds perfect. Too perfect. I hope what we find doesn't disappoint you.
We're here. We're finally here. I hope the beacon of this lost city actually works.
For fuck's sake, it's better. Walking to the pole would be a pain in the ass. Our rover mods have made my baby more sluggish than... well, me after a few drinks. Anyway, I can tell you that we aren't the first to go down this path.
You think it's the ASC?
Not sure, but I can make out tracks. Some of which look older than you.
This brings back memories.
What else is fucking new?
No, I've been down that road before. Yeah, I'm 50, 90, 100% sure it was with your father.
And you couldn't say that earlier?
I wasn't familiar with the road. I'm sorry. I just didn't realize that this was the city that we...
All right, settle down, you two. Let's not dwell on the past. We can do that later, when it's warm. But Scott, if you've been here before, your memories could be useful.
How strange. This feels like we're going back in time. I wonder how this will change things between humans and mutants.
If we contact Earth, many things will change. And if we have any say, those changes will be for the betterment of all mutant kind.
Soothing words, but I cannot help but be suspicious. They may be our ancestors, but I have the feeling they won't be pleased with their descendants.
I wonder if Victor's beat us to the punch. If he did.
He wouldn't destroy it. He couldn't. He's an egomaniac. He'd just want credit for being the first to turn it. No, what worries me is what happens if he discovers our secret.
Either way, it's time to end this. Time for a little payback. Mancer style.
Zach, I'm nervous. Whatever we discover could change our lives, and everyone's on Mars. Do we really want to contact a planet that has neglected us for so long?
If we don't do it, someone else will. And they might have less than pure intentions.
True. Better us than someone like Victor. But still, it's such a precarious responsibility.
Damn. More ASC.
We knew they had reached the city, so I can't say it's a surprise.
No, but I hope it's the last time we cross paths with Victor's grunts. Getting pretty sick of their faces.
Surely the beacon is here. This place is breathtaking. The ice has preserved it well.
Initializing solar system display. Connection to Earth in progress. Connection failed. Extrapolating incomplete data. Updating solar system display.
Destroyed. Earth is gone. All these years wasted dreaming of a rescue from a place that's nothing but a cloud of scattered rocks. Everyone on Mars, if they hear of this, they'll be devastated. What am I gonna tell them? What should I do, Andrew?
Wish I had the perfect answer for you, but I can only tell you how I feel. And I feel that people deserve the truth. The truth will set us free, right? Without a doubt, it will cause riots, maybe even wars. But you'll finally give people a chance to leave their lives of ignorance. Knowing that Mars is all we have is a scary thing, but it's just as liberating. And ceasing to pretend that Technomancers are human will let you, me, and all our brothers and sisters live openly, free and proud. And I'm sure that Noctis or Mutant Valley would welcome us if the corporation's views on us turn sour.
I will reveal what we've learned in Noctis. Corporations will feel the blow, but at least for the first time, people will be allowed to choose their futures. And we can finally hope that a city like Noctis, that welcomes mutants and humans alike, will no longer be an anomaly, but someday become the norm. Come, it's time to go. Looking back now, I bet I wouldn't even recognize the young Zachariah Mancer who just earned his stripes. And little did I know that all my choices would compound together and shape the city under the ice. By allowing Bulgakov's safe passage out of the city, the Resistance survived and thrived, and their support later proved invaluable. Despite my orders, I couldn't bring myself to kill my fellow man, and I let the deserters and their leader go, only to find that one day he would return the favor. I remember letting poor Dave go, understanding he only betrayed me to protect his family. Meanwhile, a more dangerous spy was hiding in my shadow. Despite everything Jeffrey did to me, I couldn't let Nisha shoot him down like a dog. And even in all my efforts to be a good soldier, I was still exiled from Ophir. No matter what happened, Victor was always going to discredit me. Yet my decisions of friends, alliances, would greatly influence the events that followed. The day I left Ophir in a stolen rover was the day I had chosen the people alongside me to become my companions, through adventure, misfortune, and into battle. Later, I agreed to help Dandolo chase the Vori out of Noctis, for good, cutting them off at the bridgehead they hoped to use to infiltrate every settlement on Mars. And because of that, Anton came close to paying the ultimate price, when his men picked him as the scapegoat. But he's not a man you get rid of that easily. By becoming the great master of Technomancers, I've earned their unwavering loyalty, but I've also accepted a lifelong responsibility. Since I've left the city under the ice, I've had many young apprentices, and the Order is powerful again, our future bright. Scum keeps the young mutant nation alive and well, and with Phobos' help, he has managed to repel Corporation's troops, time and time again. And with the incoming surge of refugees, you'd be a fool to bet against Mutant Valley. It's destined to become the most powerful force on Mars. The release of the mutants of Ophir opened a breach that was never resealed. Thousands upon thousands of mutants escaped to join Mutant Valley, and today, the citizens of Abundance actually have to do the labor themselves. Andrew works hard on his craft, pushing himself to control each and every intricacy of technomancy. Today, he teaches apprentices, hoping that no young Technomancer will ever have to go through what he did. He's grown quite a bit from when I first met him, and he's my best friend, my favorite companion. He's loving, loyal, and unwaveringly supportive, an alter ego I didn't think existed. I visit Scott on occasion. He's still probably legally crazy, but he's found a way to use that eccentric energy for good. He treats children in the slums of Ophir, though this time he's not using them as guinea pigs. The Army's role in taking down Victor allowed it to regain its honorable post as the protector of abundance. The generals have powerful representatives at the Assembly again. And even if the corporation has lost some luster and prestige after the Colonel's reign, at least it can properly defend itself. Dandolo made the most of our alliance, as you would expect. Noctis is now ubiquitous. Its merchants have obtained the right to citizenship in Ophir, and are free to come and go from the exchange as they please. Everything else was dwarfed by my choice to reveal the Earth's destruction. Rumors traveled faster than Rover, and when I showed proof, panic and chaos spread like a plague. Riots broke out. Civil wars erupted. The bubble had burst. The common people, realizing that no savants from Earth would come down to help them, finally began demanding war from their leaders. But Abundance and the other corporations are still here. Their power now grown beyond simple religious manipulations. My new home, Noctis, has boomed. More newcomers arrive every day, and we welcome them with open arms. Dandolo says it's time to consider expansion. I don't know what the future holds, and I can't help but feel guilty at times for the lives lost after I revealed the truth. But I'm happy to see the people of Mars forging ahead, seeking to build a future here on the Red Planet. Our planet.
Hey, back.
I'm really happy you're here. With us. With me.
I'm happy too. Without you, I'd just be a poor broken man, lonely and jaded, wasting his life.
I have a hard time picturing you alone. Figure the world would still be pining over you. Never spend a night alone unless you wanted to.
Maybe not. But I never had one of those nights turn into much more than that.
What about Nisha? Seemed like something was going on there, no?
She's an amazing woman, gorgeous. I could see why other guys would fall all over themselves for her. But you know how it is. Technomancy isolates us. There's things she could never understand. Things I could never share with her.
Let's head back to Ophir. Promise me, you'll never speak of what we learned here today. I know some of you wish I would tell the truth, but I couldn't live with myself if I started a new era of war. Abundance needs us, now more than ever, to rebuild. And once I'm officially Great Master, I swear to lead us into peace, and if all goes well, happiness. Come, it's time to go. After all the shifts in power, and all of our new discoveries, Mars doesn't look the worse for wear. There haven't been any riots or civil wars. We still keep the biggest secret of all to ourselves, and many on Mars cling to the hope that Earth will send a team of rescuers. Meanwhile, Abundance has grown strong again, and I've been recruiting new Technomancers in an attempt to do my part. I don't know what the future holds, but I feel the worst is behind me. Although whenever I look up at the sky, I know that we are on our own. That I am on my own. And I start to feel the weight of these secrets. It's time for the truth. There'll be no more hiding, no more secrets. I'm gonna tell them of Earth's destruction and reveal the true identity of every single Technomancer on the planet. This news will send shockwaves across Mars, but it's the first step for changing our planet. For the better. Let's go. Mutant Valley awaits. Yet nothing compared to my revelations. Learning that Earth was destroyed, discovering that Technomancers were mutants crafted in the vision of the settlers. When I announced the truth, the corporations lashed out. There were widespread riots and revolts, and most Technomancers fled before the leaders of the Alliance could put the pieces together. To adapt to Mars, we had to mutate, or we wouldn't survive. Remaining human had only been an illusion, and one that we had unknowingly mastered. I heard that a few scientists have reproduced Scott's experiments, And I have no doubt there'll be more of us. One day, Mutant Valley won't be the only place a mutant can call home. Instead, it'll be the capital for a race spread across Mars. At least that's what I hope.